Hi, I'm Lizanne, and I'm here to do the Art of Letting Go series, session 3, which is called Releasing Anger. Happy you can make it, and I hope you enjoy this session. We'll be dealing with acrylic paint again. So I'll go through some colors at first, just to give you an idea of different colors that you can think of as you're getting ready. So what you're going to need for this session is paint, so acrylic paint here, paintbrushes. I got sponges this time to do my background. Because of the pandemic and lockdowns and shortage of availability of non-essential things, I could not get a canvas where I am in Wikwemikong on the island. So instead, I got myself a sketch pad that I'll be painting on. And then I have a palette also to put the paint in. So here are some colors that we can think about. This is just a small guide. So red is recommended to use for anger and trauma and love, those kinds of things. Red can affect your muscular system, which is interesting, your sensory system, your nervous system. It can affect your adrenal glands and release adrenaline into the body. It's good to have red around a cold. And then if you're experiencing some inflammation or severe emotional disturbances and heart problems, red is not recommended, which is interesting. So this is color therapy guides. Pink is for rejuvenation, calming and comfort, and fertility issues. It increases compassion. So it's a high heart color, so that would make sense. Orange is an antidote for depression, loneliness, and tiredness, and it's recommended for vegetarians to give us energy, which I did pick up orange today, so that's interesting. And I am vegetarian. And I'll go into my anger painting later, where I'm going to use this color. Yellow is for the nervous system as well, and it's used for mobility issues, neurological issues, skin ailments, nervousness, and exhaustion. It gives you intellectual clarity. It's told that it's used for enlightenment, spiritual enlightenment. But it also has a warning: don't use it if you are having a nervous breakdown, which is interesting. Green is for the digestive system, to relieve stress and tension or shock from your body. It helps to alleviate headaches and lowers blood pressure. And it relaxes your heart. So green is the color of the heart center. So that would also make sense. Turquoise, blue, green, or aqua or teal can help calm you, help with hypersensitivity, bring you calmness to your mind, and it's a good color to meditate with. Blue, light blue or sky blue, is to enhance antiseptic effects. It calms your mind and nerves. Throat conditions, itchiness and bites. It's used for insomnia, teething problems, inflamed eyes, and it helps people who are suffering from shock. It can cool a fever, and it's used for measles, chickenpox, and mumps, the light blue. The indigo deeper blue is to, that would be your third eye color, to reduce fear, purifies your bloodstream, helps varicose veins, insomnia, boils and ulcers, and bruising. Indigo heals the etheric body as well. Violet can be good for your mental health, nervous disorders, emotional disturbances, and maintains potassium balance, reduces hunger. So that's interesting, color therapy. Before we start this session, I'm going to try and reduce this screen so that I can go through the PowerPoint presentation. So session 3 is called Uncovering or Releasing Anger. So what I want to make sure that people understand is anger is a natural emotion. It's nor good nor bad. It is just something that happens when there's another emotion or something else going on underneath. So anger, it's important. It serves as a protection, keeping you safe. And sometimes when we are in rage, we can't think. So it kind of blocks the part of your brain which allows you to make rational decisions. So it can be expressed, of course, constructively or destructively, inward or outward. So, sometimes people will take anger out on themselves, not always out on other people. It ranges in intensity from just being a little bit annoyed to complete fury. So even though you're just a little bit annoyed, that could be anger. And so there's an underlying issue. So it's a secondary emotion. And you can usually replace anger instead of saying I'm angry with these 3, that you're hurt, you're frustrated, or you're afraid. So the key is to be able to manage your emotion, manage your anger, to prevent more stress on your body, because stress can cause a lot of issues with your heart, with blood pressure and different things. It can make you ill. It can cause harm to others if you take it out outwardly. So it's important to manage, that's for sure. But you don't need to be without anger. It's probably impossible. The other funny thing about anger is that you can't consciously get angry. So if I asked you to get angry right now, you would have a hard time to do that, because it's just really impossible to just go consciously from 0 to complete anger. So it's something that happens in your subconscious, not in your conscious mind. So sometimes people say, oh, it's not my fault, I see red. And well, they're probably right, but they need to learn to manage that anger. That is the issue. So the common causes are, again, like I said, frustration, hurt, sometimes harassment, injustice, something you perceive that's unjust. It could be real or not real, but it's the way you perceive it. And sometimes criticism is also an issue. People, things, or ideas that you hold dear, so belief systems that you have. That someone's challenging could cause anger. So that's, what I want to say about that is that anger is not on its own an emotion. It always has something attached to it. And so we need to dig into that and find out what it is that is causing the anger. So a lot of people have what they call hidden anger. And these are some symptoms of that. So if you're sitting here and saying, well, I'm not an angry person, okay, so you're able to manage your anger. But there are some hidden symptoms of anger. And those are procrastination is one. So you're having a hard time completing tasks. So sometimes that happens. We put things over and over because we don't know how to address it. Perpetual or habitual lateness. So if you're always late, that could be an issue. Also, if you have a like for sadistic or ironic humor, so if you're always, enjoying that kind of thing or doing that kind of thing, if you're always enjoying sarcasm, cynicism, or if you're flippant in conversation. So if you say something, then say the complete opposite. So those are all some hidden anger there. And some people, they just have an attitude of grin and bear it. So they might always be, smiling all the time because they're hiding and they're trying to manage their anger. So people that are over polite, sometimes they're not very happy. And constant cheerfulness, so always being happy. We know life is up and down and there's different things that happen. And some people express it that way. Also frequent sighing, so like this. You're changing the energy around. You're maybe your emotions are building up and you're having to take frequent sighing breaths. Also, smiling when you're hurt. Frequent disturbing or frightening dreams. Sometimes it'll come out in your dreams. Over-controlled and monotone speaking voice. So some people are always speaking on the same tone of voice constantly. They're trying to hold things in and keep things monotone. And difficulty getting to sleep is another issue where you might have some hidden anger. So it's probably pretty impossible for people to say that they don't have any anger issues at all. So the other things are boredom, apathy, or loss of interest in things. So if all of a sudden you stop wanting to do the things that you like, or people are always saying, I'm bored, that kind of thing. Slowing down your movements. So some people might have a task to complete they don't want to do maybe, and they're super slow at getting up, at walking to it, at getting it done. That could be another symptom of hidden anger. Getting tired more easily than usual. So if you're just exhausted, that could be a symptom. Sleeping more than usual. Some people will just be so upset that they'll just sleep. They'll just go to sleep. That's it. Waking up tired, so like you didn't rest at all, is another one. Clench jaws when you're sleeping. So a lot of people stress. They'll have issues with their teeth and grinding their teeth. Clenching. Also, facial tics and spasm kind of movements as well in your feet. Some people are always like shaking their foot on the floor and everything moves. Or habitual fist clenching. So, they're just like, you could just feel the muscles tensing in the body. And you might not notice even your neck, sore neck, stiffness in your neck, because you're always like, like this or forward, or just always like your body's under a lot of stress. Also is chronic depression. So long periods of time of feeling down. And people also get ulcers from too much anger and not being able to manage it. So anger is not just about the rage that you see, the outbursts. There's a lot, as I just mentioned, hidden anger symptoms. And, we're taught to avoid negative feelings as much as possible. So irritation, annoyance, getting mad, we're told not to express them, to hold them in. And that's not really healthy for your body, mind, spirit at all. And so what we need to do is to manage them, to acknowledge them, and to manage them so that they don't interfere in our functioning in our daily life. So because we are taught to suppress these things, subconsciously we just do that, and we just find other ways to keep going forward. And that's where you find these this hidden anger, uncovering this anger that you carry. And, if we keep doing that, sometimes if we keep hiding and stuffing it down, then there's going to be probably an outburst. It's going to start leaking out at the seams, pouring out, and it might not be in such a good way that we're proud of. And then we're having to apologize or avoid the entire situation, or just not talk to people at all afterwards and hold grudges. It just snowballs. It doesn't get better until you address and learn to manage your anger and the symptoms that you have, and do some discovery of why and what triggered you, and what issues there are, and go and address them. And of course, don't address them at the moment where you're upset. Give yourself some time, that 24-hour rule. If it's a huge problem, it will still be there in 24 hours when you can have some time to be able to think more clearly and organize your thoughts and priorities to readdress the issue. So that's also important to not, it's not urgently necessary to deal with things right away. So the important thing to do, the key to managing and uncovering your anger is, always acknowledge the real emotion. So if you notice that you're angry and frustrated, pulling your hair out, you might want to stop and think, okay, what is going on? What is making me upset? So these are communication skills that you may not have been taught, or weren't given the opportunity to speak, to talk about your emotions, and to take the time to work with someone back and forth to hash it out, to figure it out. So first you acknowledge, okay, I am really upset. I'm getting angry. It's very simple. It's very simple language. And it's not embarrassing to say that. Anger is not a bad thing. It's a human emotion. So you just state it. Like, yeah, right now I'm really upset. And then the other person or the situation or whatever it is, they'll also be aware that, okay, this person has had enough right now. So then, you decide if you could talk about it later, or what you can do at that point. But you're going to acknowledge it first. And then you're going to reflect on what was the trigger, what set you off, what was that last straw. And you go back in your mind and figure out what upset you. Lots of times it's a misunderstanding and a miscommunication that happens. And if you can find that, then you can deal with the situation. And the next thing to do is to notice in your body, what is going on in my physical body at this time. And what was going on in your body up until this point is really important as well, because if you can figure that out, then you can stop the anger outburst before it happens. So if my face gets red, I start clamming up. I start tapping my foot on the floor, or I'm shaking. I can't have eye contact. I'm getting a headache, those kinds of things. So usually there's all these symptoms before the outburst happens. So try to figure out what you do when you're getting upset. So for example, when I'm getting upset, I notice that I play with my fingers and my sleeves of my clothes. And that's when I know, oh, I'm getting frustrated, upset, sad about something. Something is bothering me because I'm playing with my fingers and my sleeves. It takes a little while to figure out what happens for you. And, it doesn't happen overnight. And then so what you can do also is, once you know that your body is giving you indicators that you're pretty soon you're going to just have enough of it. Things you can do is change your breath. Meditate, take a walk, leave the situation, wait that 24 hours, and start to think positively instead of going down that rabbit hole of negative thought and negative comments and being hard on yourself because you can't deal with the situation in the way you'd like to. So, start talking positively to yourself. If somebody, I don't know, for example, somebody criticized you and it made you really angry and triggered you from a past trauma, then, you can self-talk yourself and say, I am a good person. I deserve to be loved. I am, a divine being. I deserve peace. That kind of stuff, to try to change the perspective that you're going down. And, you have to own that anger. So it's your emotion. No one can make you angry. Nobody. It's impossible for somebody else to make you angry. You are responsible for your anger. That's it. It's your perception of what's happening that creates that outcome. So you have to own it. And so if you lose your mind and freak out and do something embarrassing, you can, and you forgot to say, I'm getting angry, to warn the person or whatever's going on, then you know what? Just own it. Just like, yeah, oh my God, like, I'm so embarrassed. I acted like a complete, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have yelled. I'm very sorry. Right away, just take ownership of it. It's yours. It's not anyone's fault. Don't blame anyone for how you feel. Because if you keep doing that, you'll have a hard time to address and manage your feelings, because it will always be placed on somebody else. It will always give you, how should I say that? It will always justify your behavior, and you don't want to do that. You want to change your behavior. You want to have less stress in your body, lower blood pressure. You want to be able to wake up rested and have a good day and move forward and do what you need to do and not procrastinate and things like that. So it's really important that you take ownership and apologize. And, don't be hard on yourself. Like I said, these things are going on in your subconscious. So it's not like you plan on having an anger outburst. It just sort of happens because it's subconsciously, like I said a while ago, you can't consciously get angry right now. It doesn't work that way. And you've been programmed since, you were born till 5 or 7 years old. All of your programs, social programmings have been put in place. And some people are just stuck there. That's how we function. That's when the programming is important at those ages. And of course, we weren't taught that in school. So you know what? It's not your fault if you're having issues with stress and anger. You know, it's natural, and we just need to manage it. That's all, and accept it, and love ourselves. So art therapy has been used for a long time for anger management, which is pretty cool because I put it in one of my sessions, and I totally agree that you can get things out using art, different modalities of art. For me, I picked painting for anger. I thought that was the easiest. So they've done lots of studies about that. In Florida, they have a art therapy program, and they have them all over now. And it's commonly used for people with ADD and ODD because you're using both sides of your brain. You're using your conscious and subconscious brain, your left, right brain, your creative brain, your linear brain. You're starting to create new pathways in your mind. So that's really really interesting, and that's why I love art therapy. So I'm going to give you a few exercises that you can do before we begin our project. So one of the common activities that people do is I think I'll show you. I'm going to paint it maybe. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to open this up. I like opening new stuff. It's cool. You can never have enough painting supplies, paintbrushes. So I'm going to show you this exercise that you can do. And it's really good for kids too. If you have kids that have a hard time regulating their emotions, this could be very helpful. So I'm going to take my little pad of paper here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw some stairs. They don't need to be perfect. You can probably print something off on the internet too. But this is kind of fun. You know, even if you get your kids or yourself to paint the stairs or draw the stairs, you're already reducing your anger just by having to try to concentrate on making stairs look straight. Anyways, so you can imagine this is like 0 at the bottom, you know, perfectly calm. So you can see my stairs. And then here would be like the max, maybe. So maybe that would mean an outburst at the top there. And then you would sit down, you know, once when you're frustrated, sit down and or even after you had an issue with anger, you can sit down and say, okay, where am I on these stairs? So you can draw yourself a little man. So while this is 0, I don't know, maybe I got over here, and I'm going to draw a little man. There. So now you can tell, like, you know, maybe we'll say this is halfway angry. Still manageable over here. So then you can make yourself a chart. So you could say, okay, this is where I should be, and this is halfway, and oh man, I'm on this stair over here. I only got like 1 step to go, and then I'm just gonna blow my top. Like this is where I was on this scale. So you can see and monitor, and you can do that. For kids, you can do that like every day and put how they're feeling, so you can find out how frustrated they are. Because the more people can talk about it, the better they're aware of their emotions, and the better they can self-soothe. and they could see, wow, I got really mad, and then you can go on and describe what happened on this chart. So this is a really cute one. It's the stairs activity, it's called. And then there's another one. If you don't like stairs, there's another one, and it is more like a beaker. So you draw yourself a beaker. Like I said before, like, you don't need to be an artist here. It's just ways to express yourself that help you calm yourself and get to know your feelings. So this is like the empty beaker. It's not a very nice beaker, but it'll work. And then you would put, measurements like, I don't know, like maybe I was, a little bit frustrated today. So you would color in this bottom part of the beaker. And then again, it would be like here is a 0, not angry at all. And here is like a 1, 2, maybe I'm at a 2, getting frustrated. Maybe I should be talking about what's frustrating me at this point before it goes up to the max over here. So it kind of gives you a visual, and it makes your mind concentrate on the art too. So that also helps you release some anger. Then another exercise, which kids really like, is you make this man. This is really good to know where the frustration, stress is in your body. So you make a little man like this, little man. And then you think about your physical body and go, where am I feeling stress right now? Oh my gosh, my back hurts right here. Oh, my heart, like it's just sore in my heart. And then, maybe, oh, I just keep tapping my feet on the floor, like, there's the feet. I'm tapping my feet on the floor. I got a headache, so you put something on the head. Everybody's different. Everybody's body is different. My teeth are getting ground down. My jaw hurts. So, put a little smile there. So now you're getting to know where in your body is this frustration, stress, sadness, underlying issues. Where is it gathering? Where is it causing you problems in your physical body? So that's a really, really good exercise. So these are some very clear, I guess, easy to do exercises, especially with younger people, even for yourself, just to find out where and how much stress are you feeling. You don't have to feel embarrassed that it's just for kids. We're all kids at heart. Also, the next thing you can do is they say if you can meditate for 10 minutes a day, only 10 minutes, day or night or whatever, at least 10 minutes every day, your stress levels will decrease significantly and your clarity of mind will be so much better. And it only takes 10 minutes a day. You don't have to meditate for hours, sitting in uncomfortable positions, trying to get an empty, clear mind, because that doesn't exist. You'd have to be a monk for over 40 years, by yourself in a cave somewhere, meditating every day, all day long, to get 3 minutes of silence in your mind. So, don't strive for that. You just want to meditate for 10 minutes a day. It's really not hard homework to do. The other thing you can do is muscle relaxation exercise. So how you do that is you will take all of you can lay down or you can sit down, but you will squeeze every muscle group for 3 seconds and release it. So your hands, 1, 2, 3, release. Your arms, and release. Your shoulders, and release. Just 3 seconds. Maybe clench your teeth, 3 seconds. And then, go down to your stomach, 3 seconds. And then your butt, maybe 3 seconds. Your thighs for 3 seconds. Your calves for 3 seconds and release. And your ankles and your feet and your toes. So you go through your entire body. So that releases tension in your muscles, in your nervous system, in your body. It's very easy to do. It doesn't take long at all. And you can do it anywhere. Nobody will even notice you're doing it. It just helps to release your muscles and release some stress and anxiety. So those are some exercises you can do. So the other thing we're going to do now is we're going to start our little project. Oh, actually, hang on a second. I got a couple more ideas here. So you can change your breath, which is very important for stress and anxiety and anger. Because you do a dragon breath, it's called, or a goddess breath, people call it. So you would breathe rapidly in and out your nose. Try to do that for a minute if you can. Do it as long as you can and then repeat it. That right away, bang, stops your mind from running because now your brain has to think about your breathing pattern and not about what you were thinking about. And usually after you've done that, you can't get back into that state. Like I said, you can't get consciously angry. So you've tricked your brain into thinking about something else really quickly. So it has to stop what it was doing to say, what are you doing now? You're breathing funny. So that's a very good tool, very quick too. And then, of course, you can count. People count. I don't like to count, but you can count. You can talk about your frustration with someone. We're going to paint a picture. So if you're huggy, you might want to give somebody a hug and release if they let you. Listen to some music. Some people will hit a pillow in their room or something, or scream in the pillow. And, just talk to yourself, self-talk. Okay, I can handle this. I've been through worse. I can handle this. There's always somebody with worse issues than me. And there is a solution to whatever this is, and I can find it. So you talk to yourself. And then you can meditate, visualizing yourself calming down, thinking of all of your body parts and thinking of them calming down. And I have some exercises for children here. And we did the muscle relaxation. It's called a progressive muscle relaxation. So yeah, so those are probably the tools that I prefer. And here's a quote that I like from Aristotle. It says, "Anyone can become angry. That's easy. But to be angry with the right person, at the right time, and for the right purpose, and in the right way, that is not within everyone's power, and it's not easy." So that's true. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take out your canvas, your paint brushes, and all of that. And we're going to make a painting now. So like I said, I couldn't get no canvas because of the pandemic. And I'm on the island, so it's pretty hard to get right now. I have to wait 2 weeks. So I have done lots of work around anger. I've done lots of work in the last few years to help myself, because I was one of those people, I don't know, like years ago, well, I guess, yeah, years ago, I would have these outbursts and then feel like a complete failure for having an outburst. And I would be hard on myself. But then I learned these strategies, and I was able to identify, figure out what my body language is. My body's talking to me, letting me know that I'm getting frustrated, and noticing those signs, and then making changes, and or saying, you know what, this conversation is done, and we'll have it when I calm down, when I can think, and that's all. I'm really, really angry, and I need to take a break and sort out my feelings and see what the game plan is going to be now. So I've done lots of work around that, so I'm better able to avoid embarrassing situations. So, oh goodness. So I'm going to use this sponge. And I'm going to use this paper because I couldn't get a canvas. So I'm going to make myself a background. An anger painting doesn't have to be dreary or upsetting or anything. You're just going to paint, use your intuition, paint something, and allow your emotions to flow and not have any expectations. So it's kind of like, we're just going to sit here and we're going to have our materials ready, and we're going to take a deep breath. And we're going to, first, it's always better to start with a background. So I'm going to start with a background, and I'm going to use this orange color because I like it. I'm going to use a sponge to do the background. It's faster, and I like fast. So I'm just going to paint. And I'm thinking, right now, the lockdown's not fun. Like, I can't get canvassed. And certain things are not essential, which I don't understand a lot, and it's a little bit frustrating. But I can learn to live without. Not that I should, but I can. And so as I'm thinking, what am I going to paint today while doing this video? My son is not well right now, and the doctors can't figure out what's wrong with him, and he has to do tests, and so he had to go do blood work, and he can't do that without a certain paper, so he went there for nothing and didn't get his blood work because of COVID, and so that was a little bit, that is a little bit frustrating for me. I'm not angry. I I should say about it, because I can understand my feelings. It's not really anger. I'm worried, I'm stressed, and I'm frustrated with the government lockdown and rules in the health system, where someone who needs a blood test immediately can't get it because they need a form. So that's, and the doctor forgot to give him that form, or maybe doesn't know about it. So that's, not good. And it's a pretty serious issue. It has to do with his sight, and I'm not really, no parent wants their child to go through something that serious at the age he is, or any age actually. Yeah. So I was pretty upset about that today too, because I tried to call the doctor's office and they don't take calls only till 12. So I don't want to get angry because it's not going to help. I don't want to, blame creator because my son's having these issues and, why him and all that stuff. Because I want to keep a level mind to be able to help my son, right? So if I'm freaking out, well, that's not good for him. So that's probably what I'm thinking about making this picture today. I'm just going to grab some more colors. Just give me 1 second. So, yeah. So I'm just going to go with that, what I'm thinking about, and I'm going to paint my feelings on this canvas. And I'm also concerned if he needs surgery, but in Toronto, the lockdown's there, and the hospitals making the decisions that elective or that surgeries are going to have been pushed over to allow for COVID intensive care beds and beds in general. Because I think, to me, my son is super important, and I want him to be seen right away if we have to do that. So I'm working through a bunch of emotions about this, and checking in with myself and making sure I'm using coping skills that I know already, like praying, having ceremony. We'll have a ceremony tomorrow. Asking people to pray for him. Talking about it. Trying not to be hard on myself, because sometimes parents will blame themselves for their kids' disabilities or issues. What did I do wrong or something like that? This is his path, his journey, and I just have to be there for him in the best way that I know how. And I definitely don't want to be freaking out at the doctors either, because I want them to help him. And they're only bound by what the government is telling them to do. So as I'm painting, I'm just thinking about my son and how I'm connected to him and how he's going to need me to be strong. I'm going to deal with my... Well, I did some crying and I don't want to do it in front of him. But I do want to show him that I'm feeling for him. I probably will cry a little bit in front of him. I'm not afraid to show my emotions. But just to let him know that I'll be there for him no matter what, no matter how old he is. I'm his mom and I love him. So this isn't like a technique class, like I've said before in the last session. This is just letting your emotions out. So letting your paintbrush do what it's gonna do, and just accept it. Doesn't need to be perfect. It's only for you anyways, the painting, so just to help you manage, think, clear your mind, and give yourself a break from thinking so hard. So this is my painting. I hope you can can see it. So I have a sunset, sun trying to come out. It's kind of looks like an eclipse almost. And then I have, this is my son, this leaning tree, and this is me, where I have to stay tall and strong for him as he leans on me, and always show him love and help him go through what he needs to go through and let him know he's not alone. And the yellow around here represents my hope for growth, and this is in his path, and hopefully we're going to see why this is in his path, and hopefully both of us will grow from it, from being there for each other. And the roots, they represent our connection. He's my firstborn son, and we're very connected. He was very, very close to me when he was a young child. He didn't want to talk to anybody but me, or go to anybody but me, and his nanny he had. So emotional for me, but this is my painting. I'd like to see yours. It's really hard to do these things online, but thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a good evening. And session number 4, we're going to work with our animal guides. So I'm excited for that. Thank you so much. Miigwech.